Us. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a very special episode because I have a very special guest who agreed to make this video with me, and I'm very grateful to him to find the time to work with me on this. Our special guest for today is Sensei Seth.
What is up, RG Martial Arts fam? Thanks for having me, Roland. It means a lot to me, dude. We are going to talk about my favorite kick, and I'm interested to hear yours. But first, we're going to go over the side kick. My favorite kick personally is the side kick because it's the longest. Boom. Think about how far away my head is from my foot right now if I land this. Bang. Right? And it's the strongest kick too, in my opinion. I don't know, it's just me. But you use both your quads, you use all of the muscles in your legs that you use to jump, which is like such an explosive movement, right? We use the same thing, boom, because I'm moving this leg. The first thing I do is I point my foot this way, away from my target. I point my knee that way. I point my heel towards my target and my knee back towards my opposite shoulder. And what I'm doing is I'm going, boom. Which again, very similar to this movement here. I'm just switching my legs so they're like this. Then I'm picking this leg up and I'm pushing at the same time. By the time I'm done kicking, I want to have a straight line from my eyes to my shoulder, to my hip, to my knee, to my foot. Bang, just like that. As I'm looking at my target, so I go boom, and then I put it back. Now there's a couple different ways you can land it. I can land it with a bladed foot, which is where the line, the arch of my foot goes forwards. It's supposed to be bladed. Now I can also land with just my heel and try and pull my toes back towards me, like this. So think about it this way. Your hand is very similar to your foot. If I'm gonna hit with my heel, it'll be the same as hitting with my palm. If I'm gonna hit with a bladed, I'm gonna go like this, like a chop. Now the main thing you don't wanna do is hit with the balls of your feet or your toes, because I go like this. Even if I push really hard, watch my hand, ready? You still have a little bit of give, and that's what we wanna get rid of, because the side kick's supposed to dig in the body. So I'm gonna go like this. Boom, and drive with the heel or the blade of the foot. My favorite setup is to be here and go with a big overhand, boom, and set this foot out. Now, as this foot is set out, I come in towards my target. So I go big overhand to make those hands come up high, step off, and then drive in a side kick. Okay, so it goes like this. Boom, bang. And again, I go, whoop-ha. Have this foot set out, knee in tight. It's gotta come in real tight, the heel already pointed, bang, and then drive it in. Roland, I'd love to hear your favorite kick, and thanks again for having me on.
So if I had to think about it, I'd say my all-time favorite technique would be the axe kick. So the axe kick, also known as Mae-Kae-Agae in Japanese, is used a lot in Kyokushin karate. That's where I started. So I saw people knocking each other out with this kick, and I realized how dangerous it actually is. So I fell in love with it instantly and was practicing it over and over and over. Practice is very important with this kick. So essentially the kick is called an axe kick because it goes up and then comes down. This is really dangerous because you're putting your heel straight up in the other guy's face. It's also really good because it comes as a surprise to your opponent, and not many people are often expecting the kick to come. So I'm gonna get straight into it and show you how this kick looks on the bag and in the air. So another really important thing to note is that there are two variations to this kick. One comes from the outside to the inside, and one variation, which is used a bit more often, is coming from inside to the center. Another very important tip to remember when throwing this kick, as you saw, my heel was always the one that was going against the bag. You don't want to just have your foot be rubbing off. It's always the heel that's gonna be working. With this kick also, just to give you a bit of context, it's most commonly aimed at the nose, towards the neck, sometimes even towards the temple if you're at the right angle, and very often towards the bone that is broken so often in martial arts, the collarbone. So it can come straight here and it's lethal. With this kick, it's also very important to remember that you are not putting 150% energy into going down and then just letting it come down slowly. The whole point is that you raise the kick, and most of the power needs to come when coming down with the kick. So that's a common mistake I've seen a lot of people do, is that they'll go up with the kick with full power and then just let it come down with gravity. That's not what you want to do. You want to go up and bring it down with force, because that's when it's really going to make that strong impact. Now I'm going to show you some good ways you can practice this kick. The first one includes just practicing this kick from a stationary position. So you just go with the right over and over and over, and then you switch to the left leg and you practice it over and over and over with the 2 variations. So this one is really good, and eventually you want to try and get like 100 kicks going in one go, because this really opens up your legs and gets that flexibility going for the kick. That's another thing that's very important. You want to work a lot on stretching and flexibility to help get better at performing this kick. The second way you can practice this is by moving in a straight line, turning around, and then coming back. So you're throwing one kick, then a second kick, but you're always moving forwards. So it would look something like this. Lastly, I think it is very important just to get the feel of things and see how this feels when using this kick on some tangible object. You should practice this kick on the bag. Try and make sure it hits the center, because often it's easy to make the kick slip off to the side. So you want to just go straight for the center. And like I said, bring it down with a lot of power. And as a second sub exercise of that, if you have a partner, I would strongly recommend that you practice bringing it down on these vital points. So the temple, the nose, the collarbone, but also do it very carefully, and this will help teach you control, because you don't want to be injuring anyone, but you want to be practicing it so you know exactly where you're going to be hitting. Now, I'd like to talk about one way to set up this kick in a fight. This involves throwing a few push kicks to make the opponent believe that more push kicks are going to come. So you throw one push kick, maybe a bit slower, then throw another one, let the opponent even catch it, but then pull it back in time. And then they're expecting a third one, and you go with the same motion leaning in, but you step into the axe kick, and bang, next thing you know, you got them straight in the face or on the collarbone. So that's a great way to set it up, and this is how it looks. So the way this is going to turn out in a situation where you're in a fight or a tournament is that a good way to set it up is that you're going to go with one kick, so one push kick, okay? So you're going to go push kick, slowly, just kind of dance around, throw a few combos, and you're going to give another push kick, again, making sure it's not too fast, but that they see it, they recognize it, and they think, he's really slow, so I'm going to catch this and do something about it. So then, as you throw the second one, right, then after that, for the third one, you're going to act as if you're going in. You're going to go in and pop! There. And you landed it straight on his chin. So once again, just fake it. 1, 2, dance around, and pop! Okay? Bringing it down. Pop! And you can do this the other way around too. So 1, dancing, pop, pop, pop. And throw a second one, and think, pop! Okay? So this is a great way to set it up. Just try it out in sparring and see for yourself. It works differently for each person, but this is one way that has worked for me. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much once again to Sensei Seth for making this happen. I'm really honored to have been able to work with him, especially during this time. We want to show that, life goes on. It's a really hard situation that's happening with the coronavirus, and we understand that a lot of people are stuck at home and really need motivation. And our hearts go out to all those people who are suffering from the virus, who have lost family members from it. But we must stay strong, we must stand together, face this, and thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to Sensei Seth's channel. He has some awesome content. Check it out, you'll learn a lot. And as usual, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment if you have any feedback, suggestions, or ideas for new videos. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.